Hello, hello. This is about how to create the graph gain versus frequency with the theoretical information shown as a solid red curve. So the only thing that should be data points are your measured data points. And then the theoretical expectation should be a solid curve. No data points there, just a solid curve. So in the previous Zoom, YouTube link, at the end of that video, I was not successful to do that, doing that. But anyway, instead of recording a brand new one completely, I'm just going to focus on that part. So now that you have that column of the theoretical gain, you might as well just start from that, right? So you select all those theoretical gain data, okay? So we are making a plot just like you've seen before. And we are going to insert a new scatter plot, and there we are. So when we do just that, and we had selected just one column, we do not get the correct data values here. Luckily, your vertical value is correct, but the horizontal is totally wrong. And if you're lucky enough, the shape of the graph will look similar to what you want at the end, or just like what you want at the end, but that's luck. So this is not your final work. Remember from what we were doing before on this tab here about line nest, right? On the linear graph. Many of you did not do this correctly, right? Because if you just click on force here and then go to insert, that's how I instructed you to start, right? You get this type of plot. And there's a lot to do now here. You have to go here and say select data, and you have to select the proper vertical column, horizontal column, because they're not necessarily correct. This is just the beginning to start a graph. There's a lot to do to set up and select the correct data. So this you should have done here on this panel about the linear plot. Look at what you get if you just select one column and just start a plot. You get something like this, which is totally not the correct final plot that you should have gotten for that part, which is really a straight line plot. This is very different from this, okay? So likewise over here, we actually got coincidentally a very good shape, but the X's are incorrect. So we go select data, and you can see the Y values are here mentioned as the theoretical gain. It turns out that that's exactly what you want in the Y value. So I'm starting by plotting the theoretical values instead of the measured values first, so that we can do that a solid line faster, easier, okay? X values here, as usual, are the frequencies. So select all the frequencies. This should not be a news for you, and then you say okay. So here we go. Now we have the proper frequencies, etc. I'm going to skip a few items here. You still need to put the chart title. You need to put labels and units in each axis, and that's all shown in the previous video that I sent to you. So now that you have this, you double click on this curve. Oh boy. Well, let me go out again. Double click on this curve, and you guys actually will have that plus symbol here on the side, or actually if you just double click like I've done and you get multiple selections, meaning you basically select the whole data set, then you will see a menu here, and you go here where it says, where there is a bucket with paint, and you go where it says marker. You will say that you don't want any markers. You don't want the dots. And then, so marker options, none. Then you go here, line options, solid. What color? Well, you can select any one. I'm trying red this time. You can choose any color you want. Got it? So that's how we do it. A solid line, and this is the expected or theoretical curve here for this exercise. So sometimes you're not, the only types of fits you are allowed to do is the fit of a straight line, because then you can keep track of what is the uncertainty of the slope and the y-intercept using line nest. Any other fit, you cannot know what is the uncertainty of every parameter that you fit. So we don't want you to therefore use a fit. So that's what we're doing here. This is not a fit. This is just the theoretical expected curve. All right, so now we need to plot. Now we can go on and plot then the measured values, right? So again, oops, well, I didn't even need to select this whole item here. I just go here and say, select data on the graph. I say select data. I will create a new series, a new set of data. So you click on the plus here, creating a new series. This is going to be my measured values. So what do I want the x-axis to be my measured values? Well, just like the theoretical value, I want to be the frequency range that I had done. And what do I want the y values to be? Well, the measured values, then the measured gain. So I select the measured gain exactly, enter. There we go, and it should be okay. So now we look at the plot. Guess what? Because you had established that you wanted things as a line and no markers before, that's the trick with Excel. It stays with the last setup you chose. So we don't want this. Don't show me this, you're going to lose points. Again, the plot has to look like for you to get the points? This is how it has to look like. Every row and every column has to have equations and calculations. Those of you who just put a value without the value coming from an equation, that I know that you are just copying, and so you don't get things right. You are not going to get the points. So how much is this extra credit assignment going to be? 5 points added to your lab midterm. So if you ace it all, you get 5 points added to your lab midterm. And you need to do these things because you will be using all these Excel exercises in your future reports and etc. So you should know how to do them now. All right, so I selected on this very jagged lines because that's the measured gain, and I'm going to again go to the bucket where it says format data series, go to the bucket, and now we do want the marker. We want it to have a marker. We can say it automatic, no problem. And we don't want to have a line, say no solid line. We never want to play connect the dots. We never want to play connect the dots, okay? So you wanted the marker, but no, so, and you can put the marker, whatever color you want in the marker, okay? Oops, fill here, you go to the fill marker. I don't know, you can make the data points of the measured data points another color that is very clear, etc. Okay, so this was just about making the differentiation between the solid curve that needs to be the theoretical curve and the data points that need to be your measured values. What is the next step you need to do here? Add error bars, etc. And those are all explained in the previous video. You guys go and watch there. This was just to emphasize how to make the solid line that you need to do. Okay, watch the previous video.